Dear parents, we've been talking about the importance of good thinking, good speaking, meditation. How does it help in creating a value baby, a virtue baby? I feel because our mind really wants answers. We all know since long that we need to speak positive, think positive, do things which are just good. But when we know the science behind it, when we know how all this is impacting the developing brain of our baby, then we'll be able to do it much more focused, much more clear, and we'll be motivated to make all those necessary changes in our lifestyle which we need to do to make sure that our baby's brain develops to its highest potential. You know, by about 5 weeks, when hardly you know that you're pregnant, this little brain has started to develop like an lumpy inchworm, and it has set on this seat of human development on its most amazing journey, where it forms the cortex of the baby's brain, which has lot of convolutions and increased surface area to accommodate all the knowledge which you are ready to share with your baby within the womb. By about 28 weeks, all the senses, the vision, the hearing, the taste, the smell, everything is all set, and your baby's brain is ready to actually start functioning to make the baby feel all this very easily. So your responsibility of feeding your baby with good thoughts, with good feelings, with good food is very, very important. Before 20 years, we didn't know so much, believe me, about fetal behavior. How is it acting within the womb? What are the studies which have been done? But now, so much of photography which has happened intrauterine, so much of imaging which has been done by MRIs has shown us we can see the baby, we can see how the baby is feeling, and lot of good research is coming from major centers of the world which is telling us that today we need to know that what is this science of fetal psychology, of your baby's mind. What is this science which is telling us that this time and the time 9 months to 1 year after the baby is born, why is it so important? I thought you know so much, but if we tell you how is your baby's brain developing, it will be more clear and you will be able to give in much more, because now you have the knowledge that what is the time that my baby's brain is developing and how much exposure is important for it to develop to its maximum potential. You know, the brain has parts. The first part is the brainstem, then develops the midbrain, then develops the limbic system, and the last comes the cortex. Now, each and every part of our brain has different functions, and we need to make sure that whatever is developing, it is developing best. The brainstem, you know, which is there, which develops the first, that is taking care of the respiratory rate, the heart rate of your baby, as well as the temperature regulation, because your baby's body needs time to regulate temperature, to stabilize the respiration and the heart rate. As soon as your baby is born, these are the first three things that we are all looking at and waiting at, and you make sure that everything is fine, because these things will minimize our baby's nursery admissions later on. Next to develop is the midbrain, which is taking care of the appetite, you know, and the sleep. Baby has a very, very different sleep cycle, and they actually slowly change it over the next few months after birth. At 30 weeks, the baby is going to sleep for about 20-22 hours, and when the baby is born, still it is going to sleep for about 18 to 20 hours in a day. So that's huge. So all this regulates with time as the baby is born. Next comes the very important part of your baby's brain, which is the limbic system. You know, even our brain is going to do the same functions. It's only we are telling you so that you become more knowledgeful, and you can also teach many, many more, because once you have scientific words and evidence, it becomes very easy to follow the right advice. Now, the limbic system is the one which is taking care of the emotions of your baby. Whether your baby is going to be happy or sad, whether the baby is going to be a peaceful baby or an anxious baby, this is being governed by the limbic system, because whatever your hormonal milieu is, whatever hormones are circulating in your bloodstream, they are going to reach your baby's developing brain and sensitize the cells of the brain there, and that is going to activate the emotional centers of the brain. We always talk about in IQ and EQ. Now this is what is actually going to impact the IQ, which is the intelligent quotient, as well as EQ, which is the emotional quotient, because this is going to give success to your baby. This creative part of your baby's brain is very, very important. So please take care that what all you are thinking, what all you are speaking, what all you are hearing from the outside world, each and every thing which you are putting into your body, whatever you are eating, your nutrition, everything is going to make an impact on this developing brain. Last to actually mature is the cortex of the brain, which is the cerebral cortex, which has a large surface area, and this is basically going to take care of the rational part of your brain, the rational thinking, logical thinking, the intelligence part, the intelligence part, as well as how do you need to plan, what your child is going to imagine. So this happens probably in the end phase and continues for about 9 to 18 months after birth as well. So once now you know so much of science, I think you are very, very clear that whatever is in your hand, you will make sure that you do the best. So in your hands, first and foremost is that you have to make sure that the feel-good hormones which you are going to secrete in your circulation, only they reach your baby. Even if you get angry sometimes, if you have a fight with somebody, if you are not in a good mood today, now you have full reason to just sort it out so that there is no stress hormone which is going to circulate in your blood. And even if it has, you will immediately change. Check yourself, change yourself, and make sure that the feel-good neuropeptides go circulate in your blood and reach your baby's brain. Little bit stress does not cause issues, but now because you have scientific evidence, you will not let that stress move far and long. You will immediately check and change, because you have understood that today you have the power to change the anatomy, the physiology, the biochemistry, the size and the shape as well, and the function of your baby's developing brain. Our famous birth psychologist Di Petro has said that whether the genes are impacting more or whether the nurturing by the mother and the parent is impacting more, this needs lot of research, but your nurture has a very large role to play than the genes and nature.